Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates the vibrant Gujarat Regional Conference in Rajkot. The Prime Minister leads the Shaurya Yatra to honor those who died defending the Somnath temple in Gujarat. Fresh protests erupt in Iran as government vows crackdown. Trump says the US stands ready to help. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated and announced key industrial initiatives during the vibrant Gujarat Regional Conference for Kutch and Saurashtra at the Marwadi University in Rajkot. As part of efforts to boost industrial growth, the Prime Minister announced the development of 13 new greenfield smart industrial estates by the Gujarat Industrial Development Corporation across 7 districts, namely Amreli, Bhavnagar, Jamnagar, Kutch, Morbi, Rajkot and Surendranagar. These modern estates span over 3,540 acres and focus on sectors such as ceramics, green energy and tourism, and promoting sustainable and innovation-driven manufacturing. The announcement aligns with Gujarat's vision for decentralized industrial progress and employment generation. The Prime Minister also inaugurated the GIDC Medical Device Park in Rajkot, further strengthening the state's healthcare manufacturing system. Prime Minister Modi, who is on a 3-day visit to Gujarat, also participated in the Shaurya Yatra as part of the ongoing Somnath Swabhiman Parv in the state of Gujarat. A total of 108 horses brought for the Shaurya Yatra became the center of attraction. The horses escorted the Prime Minister's convoy as he progressed towards the Somnath temple. The Shaurya Yatra, a ceremonial procession organized to honor the countless warriors who laid down their lives defending the Somnath temple, featured a symbolic procession of horses reflecting valor and sacrifice. And during the event, the Prime Minister himself played the damru. The Somnath Swabhiman Parv is a tribute to the temple's enduring legacy as a symbol of India's civilizational courage, spiritual strength and reconstruction despite centuries of invasion. The event highlights the sacrifices of countless devotees who defended the shrine, ensuring its revival time and again. During the Yatra, the Prime Minister paid floral tributes to the statue of Veer Hamirji Gohil, who sacrificed his life defending the Somnath temple in 1299 AD from Zafar Khan's invasion. The Prime Minister also offered tributes to the statue of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. After concluding the Shaurya Yatra, the Prime Minister performed darshan and prayers at Somnath temple. Earlier on Saturday, the Prime Minister
ओम विष्णुर्विष्णुर्विष्णु श्रीमद् भगवतो महापुरुषस्य विष्णुराग्नया प्रवर्तमानस्य अद्य ब्रह्मणो द्वितीये परार्धे श्री श्वेतवाराह कल्पे.
Earlier on Saturday, the Prime Minister took part in the Omkar chanting at Somnath temple. Following the prayers, a breathtaking drone show was held over the skies of Prabhas Patan, with Prime Minister Modi witnessing the visual spectacle.
पार्वती पते हर हर महादेव. ये गाथा है उस चेतना की जो शाश्वत है, जो सनातन है, भारत की सांस्कृतिक आत्मा का एक ऐसा अखंड बिंदु जो युगों युगों से अटल है, वही जो आदि है, वही जो अनंत है.
अनंत वर्ष की आस्था, अनंत वर्ष का है विश्वास.
The Prime Minister also witnessed fireworks in the sky. The Somnath Swabhiman Parv, being held from 8th to 11th January, is organized at Somnath. The program marks 1,000 years since Mahmud of Ghazni's invasion of the Somnath temple in the year 1026. The Prime Minister's participation at the Somnath Swabhiman Parv underscores the enduring spirit of India's civilization and reaffirms his commitment to preserve and celebrate India's rich cultural and spiritual heritage. Prime Minister Modi participated in the Somnath Swabhiman Parv on Sunday. He addressed a massive crowd there. The Prime Minister described this occasion as a festival of glorious heritage and the experience of spirituality. He said that 1,000 years ago, those invaders thought they had conquered us. But even after 1,000 years, the flag that still flies high over the Somnath Mahadev temple is a call to the entire creation, declaring what the strength of India is and what its power truly is.
जब गजनी से लेकर औरंगजेब तक तमाम आक्रांता सोमनाथ पर हमला कर रहे थे, तो उन्हें लग रहा था कि उनकी तलवार सनातन सोमनाथ को जीत रही है. वो मजहबी कट्टरपंथी ये नहीं समझ पाए कि जिस सोमनाथ को वो नष्ट करना चाहते हैं, उनके नाम में ही सोम अर्थात अमृत जुड़ा हुआ है. उसमें हलाहल को पीकर भी अमर रहने का विचार जुड़ा है. उसके भीतर सदा शिव महादेव के रूप में वो चैतन्य शक्ति प्रतिष्ठित है, जो कल्याण कारक भी है और प्रचंड तांडवः शिवः ये शक्ति का स्रोत भी है. कि सोमनाथ को ध्वस्त करने की मंशा लेकर आए मजहबी आतताई आज इतिहास के कुछ पन्नों में सिमट कर रह गए हैं और सोमनाथ मंदिर उसी विशाल समंदर के किनारे गगनचुंबी धर्म ध्वजा को थामे खड़ा है। सोमनाथ का ये शिखर मानो उद्घोष कर रहा है, चंद्रशेखरम आश्रय मम किम करिष्यति वै यमा, अर्थात मैं चंद्रशेखर शिव पर आश्रित हूं, काल भी मेरा क्या कर लेगा।
The Prime Minister also highlighted that the history of Somnath is not a history of destruction and defeat, it's a history of victory and reconstruction.
सोमनाथ स्वाभिमान पर्व 1000 साल पहले हुए विध्वंस के स्मरण के लिए नहीं, ये पर्व 1000 साल की यात्रा का पर्व है। साथ ही ये हमारे भारत के अस्तित्व और अभिमान का पर्व है, क्योंकि हमें हर कदम पर, हर मुकाम पर सोमनाथ और भारत में अनोखी समानताएं दिखती है। जैसे सोमनाथ को नष्ट करने के एक नहीं अनेकों प्रयास हुए, दुष्प्रयास हुए, उसी तरह विदेशी आक्रांताओं द्वारा कई सदियों तक भारत को खत्म करने की लगातार कोशिशें होती रही, लेकिन न सोमनाथ नष्ट हुआ और न ही भारत नष्ट हुआ, क्योंकि भारत और भारत की आस्था के केंद्र एक दूसरे में समाये हुए हैं। यानी सोमनाथ का इतिहास विनाश और पराजय का इतिहास नहीं है, ये इतिहास विजय और पुनर्निर्माण का है, हमारे पूर्वजों के पराक्रम का है, हमारे पूर्वजों के त्याग और बलिदान का है।
The Prime Minister also highlighted that sacred places like Somnath have been synonyms of our strength, resistance and tradition. He said that unfortunately after independence, people with slave mentality tried to distance themselves from these places. Malicious attempts were made to erase that history.
दुर्भाग्य से आजादी के बाद गुलामी की मानसिकता वाले लोगों ने मजहबी उन्माद की मानसिकता को केवल साधारण लूट बताकर ढंकने के लिए किताबें लिखी गई। सोमनाथ मंदिर एक बार नहीं, बार बार तोड़ा गया। अगर सोमनाथ पर आक्रमण केवल आर्थिक लूट के लिए हुए होते तो 1000 साल पूर्व पहली बड़ी लूट के बाद रुक गए होते, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं हुआ। सोमनाथ के पवित्र विग्रह को तोड़ा गया, बार बार मंदिर का स्वरूप बदलने की कोशिश हुई और हमें पढ़ाया गया कि सोमनाथ को लूट के लिए तोड़ा गया था। नफरत, अत्याचार और आतंक का असली क्रूर इतिहास हमसे छिपाया गया। साथियों, हमने धर्म के प्रति ईमानदार कोई भी व्यक्ति ऐसी कट्टरपंथी सोच का समर्थन नहीं करेगा, लेकिन तुष्टीकरण के ठेकेदारों ने हमेशा इस कट्टरपंथी सोच के आगे घुटने टेके।
Prime Minister Modi will inaugurate the remaining stretch of Phase 2 of Ahmedabad Metro from Sector 10A to Mahatma Mandir in Gujarat. DD India's Amritpal Singh sent us this report.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi shall be dedicating to Gujarat the second phase of the Ahmedabad Metro Rail project. This stretch is 7.8 kilometers long and covers 7 stations connecting Mahatma Mandir to the Motera Stadium metro station.
This second phase is about 7.8 kilometers long with 7 stations, and this will be now connecting Ahmedabad with the major milestone buildings like Akshardham, like LDRP College, Mahatma Mandir, Juma Sachivalay. So all the employees and all the tourists who are coming from Ahmedabad to Gandhinagar, they will benefit a lot from this, including students also.
Though this stretch is in Gandhinagar, the first phase of the metro began in 2022, which covered Ahmedabad. The Prime Minister inaugurated the second phase in September 2024, which connected Ahmedabad to Gandhinagar. And now it's a further extension of that route which connects Gift City, which connects Gandhinagar to Ahmedabad, and the east-west corridor and the north-south corridor of the Ahmedabad Metro connects the whole of Ahmedabad with a ridership, daily ridership of about 160,000. With rapid urbanization taking place in Gandhinagar, this metro will go a long way in boosting infrastructure and connectivity between Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar, also within Gandhinagar. With cameraman Yogesh Kumar, this is Amritpal Singh for DD India in Gandhinagar.
And still to come on DD India Live. UN Security Council to hold an emergency meeting on Monday following a request from Ukraine. And Myanmar votes in the second phase of election.
Welcome to Jharkhand, the land of forests.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Iran's authorities indicated on Saturday that they could intensify their crackdown on the biggest anti-government demonstrations in years despite an internet shutdown. Following the protest, Iran's Revolutionary Guards vowed to defend the country's national interests and urged citizens to stay alert to the enemy's plots. Many international airlines have suspended or cancelled their flights to and from Iran. Authorities have imposed wide-ranging mobile and internet restrictions across the country. Protests have spread across Iran since 28th December, beginning in response to soaring inflation and quickly turning political, with protesters demanding an end to the Islamic clergy's rule. EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen on Saturday said that Europe backed Iranians' mass protests and condemned the violent repression against demonstrators. Von der Leyen said Tehran's streets, as well as cities around the world, echo with the footsteps of Iranian women and men demanding freedom, freedom to speak, to gather, to travel, and above all, to live freely. She said those responsible will be remembered on the wrong side of history. And US President Trump said on Saturday that Iranians were looking at freedom like never before as protests continued to spread. He said that the US was ready to offer support to the Iranian people. The US and allied forces carried out large-scale strikes against the Islamic State in Syria on Saturday. The US Central Command, which oversees American military forces in the region, said that the strikes targeted the IS throughout Syria, but it did not give specifics on where the strikes took place. The strikes were part of an operation codenamed Hawkeye Strike. The Trump government first announced Operation Hawkeye Strike in December after an IS terrorist killed 2 US soldiers and a US civilian interpreter in an ambush in Palmyra, located in the center of Syria. The Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces said on Sunday that they agreed as part of a ceasefire to withdraw their fighters from the 2 districts they held in Aleppo after deadly clashes in the city. The group said that it had reached an understanding that led to a ceasefire and secure the evacuation of the martyrs, the wounded, trapped civilians and fighters from Ashrafiyeh and Sheikh Maqsood neighborhoods to northern and eastern Syria. It was reported that buses carrying the last batch of members of the SDF left the Sheikh Maqsood neighborhood in Aleppo, heading towards northeastern Syria. The EU on Saturday urged the Syrian government and Kurdish authorities to restart political dialogue. A spokesperson said in a statement that the European Union calls for an end to hostilities in and around Aleppo, stressing the importance of protecting civilians at all times and easing access for humanitarian aid. US President Trump said that Venezuela has started releasing their political prisoners on Saturday. President Trump said that Venezuela has started the process in a big way by releasing political prisoners. He hoped that those prisoners will remember how lucky they got that the US came along and did what had to be done. The release of hundreds of political prisoners in the South American country is a long-running demand of human rights groups, international bodies and opposition figures, including Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Corina Machado, who has several close allies imprisoned. Earlier, President Trump signed an executive order protecting US-held money derived from sales of Venezuelan oil after the ouster of Nicolas Maduro, the White House said in a fact sheet accompanying the order. Hundreds of protesters rallied in the US city of Boston on Saturday after the fatal shooting of Rene Good by a US immigration agent in Minneapolis. Demonstrators demanded accountability and an end to what they called authoritarian policies. The rallies come amid growing tensions over immigration enforcement and clashes following Good's shooting, with some protesters criticizing both the country's political parties for inaction. The UN Security Council will hold an emergency meeting on Monday following a request from Ukraine. According to Ukraine's foreign minister, Kyiv's request came in the wake of Russia's recent attacks on Ukraine, which included the use of an intermediate-range ballistic missile. Meanwhile, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Saturday that Ukraine's lead negotiator Rustem Umerov spoke with US officials and Kyiv and Washington, D.C. worked to agree on a framework to end Russia's war in Ukraine. The president emphasized the importance of maintaining a strong daily dialogue with the US government. Myanmar's junta leader Min Aung Hlaing visited polling stations in Yangon on Sunday as voters cast ballots in the second phase of a military-run election. Polling stations opened at 6 a.m. local time in 100 townships across the country, including parts of Sagaing, Magway, Mandalay, Bago and Tanintari regions. The military-backed Union Solidarity and Development Party is leading by a huge margin after winning 90 of the 102 lower house seats contested in the first phase on 28 December. The voter turnout was only 52.13% in the first phase, much lower than elections in 2020 and 2015. The election is being held in the Southeast Asian nation in 3 phases. The first round took place on 28th December, followed by the second phase on Sunday. A final round will take place on 25th January. In all, there will be voting in 265 of Myanmar's 330 townships, including areas where the junta does not have full control. 65 townships will not take part because of ongoing fighting. And that's all for this edition of DD India Live. You can get the latest news on the DD India mobile app. You can scan the QR code to download it. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks. I am Ramesh Ramachandran. From all of us here in New Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.